So it looks like we're starting
I have no idea.
The meeting will come to order at 5:01 p.m. With that, we're going to go ahead and start with a roll call utilizing the voting devices. So I'm going to start that down. Make sure you have your device on and ready to go, and you can push any of the buttons just to send it in to do a formal roll call. So you can go ahead and start pushing it now. Just make sure your device is on. Yeah, that's at the top. There's a. Pardon the technical difficulties. So we're gonna forego that because we're having. What? Oh, okay.
That's perfect.
Never mind now. Okay, now we're actually trying this again. No, that's the network devices. Escape. And then go back to the presentation. Now it's working, and you can submit your.
Did everybody press their send button first because the remote on? Okay.
We scanned the bear part, so we'll just try this again next week. So we're good. Okay. If there are no objections or corrections, we'll approve the minutes from our last meeting as distributed. Okay. Are there any students present for open forum? So you'll have up to 5 minutes to present. So Megan McAfee.
Hi everybody. My name is Megan McAfee. Like Josh just said, we're president at Eddie Goose and the voting tool is very fresh and fun. I love the idea. It feels very nostalgic and exciting to be back in this room. I'm here to talk to y'all because I've been nominated for homecoming court, which is exciting, but more importantly, I've spent the last couple weeks reflecting on my time at UCA, and I have to say that SGA has taken the cake. So my first lesson that I ever learned at UCA was failure, thanks to SGA. And that's because I applied to run for position and I put in zero work and got nothing out of it. And that was my first big lesson that I learned at UCA, was that in order to get something out of an experience, it's all about what you put into it. And so when that open position popped up in my email, I was like, okay, I have to do this. And it's one of the best decisions I've ever made while I've been at UCA. That second year on SGA, the next big lesson that I learned was that I was worth something. So that was something that I didn't have coming into it, but when I saw my name pop up as a committee head, I was like, wow, like I really have something going on maybe. This might be a really cool opportunity. And I was really thankful for that current exec board that saw something in me to be a leader and to help make that change. And then my third big lesson was that when you feel like you have something to contribute, to jump all in. And so that's what I did when I ran for exec, and I got to serve a full year as vice president of operations. And shout out to Rose and Cron, because I personally feel it's the hardest job on exec. Just a personal opinion. But the reason I wanted to talk to y'all is because I'm among 21 very deserving, impactful women on campus that are vying for your vote, and it starts tonight at midnight. And so if you get the chance, just remember to cast your 3 votes and just take the opportunity to recognize women on this campus for all that they've done. Me being just one of 21, it's already an honor to be nominated. But after this vote at the homecoming pep rally on the 30th, we'll find out who the top 8 are for homecoming court. So have a good meeting. I know you've got a lot on your agenda, so thank you so much for having me. If you want more M&Ms, they're in the bucket. I'm going to leave them. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. So we have no presenters this evening, so I'll go into my report. So first thing, I'm going to introduce, and this is more for our newly appointed senators, I'm going to introduce each of our advisors to you, and it's something that I've been meaning to do the last couple of weeks, and it just hasn't made it on the list. So the first advisor I'm going to introduce is Ms. Charlotte Strickland. She's the Director of Professional Development and Training here at UCA, and she is our most seasoned advisor. So we're so happy to have her as part of our advisor team. Next is Mr. Hank Phelps, or you'll hear some of us refer to him as Pops. He is the Director of the Student Center and is also one of our advisors. Next we have Dr. Rick Tarka, a professor of chemistry. And then our newest advisor this year, our rookie advisor, as she likes to call herself, is Ms. LaTanya Matheny. She's a program coordinator in the Division of Student Services. So that's for all of you that did not know our 4 advisors or had not been formally introduced to them. That's them. Utilize them as a resource. They are great, great, great people that offer a lot of really valuable insight, not only with the work we do in SGA, but if you just have questions about life or you're going through something and just need people to talk to, these 4 individuals are wonderful and offer really good advice about any topic. So with that, parliamentary procedure tips. Just a couple of kind of reminders as we're kind of wrapping up this semester of Senate. So make sure that if you are speaking at any point during meeting, you need to wait to be recognized by the chair. In this case, that would be me, before you speak. It's just to keep the order and the flow of the meeting running effectively and efficiently. Make sure that you refer to senators and exec by their last name. It would be Vice President McGarity, Senator Street, Senator Kilgore. Try to avoid calling someone by their first name just to maintain the overall professional atmosphere in the room. And then, of course, stand when speaking. So you'll probably see me up here if you're sitting down and speaking. You'll see me doing this as your indication to stand. That way, if we have guests in the room or our echo writer has a question about something we've been talking about, just to make sure that she knows who she can go to. She can put a face with who is speaking on a particular topic in Senate. So just kind of be mindful of those Farley Pro tips moving forward. The last thing I want to remind you all, we have 4 Senate meetings left. So after tonight, we have 4 meetings left and then our holiday reception at the President's house. So you're doing a great job and keep it up. We've got some really good momentum. We just need to keep moving forward and finish the semester on a very high note so that we can launch into the spring ready to go and accomplish the last 4 months of this year's Senate's work. And then my Senate shout out is going to go to Senator Ramirez. So we did kind of a call to figure out who we would appoint to be the new chair of the Diversity Committee after Vice President Marbley moved into the Vice President of Operations position. Exec discussed it and asked, and Senator Ramirez stepped up to serve. So I just want to say on behalf of Exec and the advisors, thank you for stepping up and occupying this committee. It's a very important standing committee in our organization, and we look forward to seeing what's going to be accomplished under your leadership. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And that is the end of my report. What questions do you have? Great. Vice President McGarry.
So rules and ethics are meeting after meeting in chambers, so just make sure you come here quickly. We're holding interviews for the junior class representative position this Wednesday and Thursday, so that'll be filled soon. And then optional activity, so exec is going to Andy's after meeting, after rules and ethics, I'll be there. And just come and join us. It's a good Senate bonding activity, so just please come, it'll be fun. Andy on day board for about an hour to 30 minutes.
What questions do you have for Vice President McGarry? Vice President Marbley.
All right. Let's see. All right, so if you all noticed on the paper, I forgot to add me to the administration, so we're going to finish that up, okay? So we met him last week, Mr. Brad Lacy on the Board of Trustees. So next up on our list, we have this guy. Do y'all know who this is?
Yes.
Tom Palmer.
Oh, yes, President Houston Davis. So y'all see him speak soon. Who is this lady? Y'all know her? His wife. What's her? Jenny Davis? Yes. That's First Lady Jenny Davis. And then you have, well, that one was faster, but Kelly Ernstine, the Chief of Staff. So that's it.
He was a former SGA president.
Former SGA president. See? Look at that. Okay, we're looking for it. So with the OrgSync applications, both diversity open spots and the junior class open spots, both of those applications close tomorrow at 4:00 p.m. So Fairfax Day, shout out to the PR committee for doing what they do best, and it's showing up and showing out on Saturday. We had a blast meeting prospective students, and we even had a picture with Dr. Poulter, which is our provost. So let's give them a round of applause. And if you don't follow SGA on Instagram, you should at UCA_SGA. Great things there. And the senator fun fact. So this senator doesn't know if people are apologizing by saying sorry or calling him by his name and saying sorry. Yeah. Feel free to raise your hands. Anytime.
Could you say that again? Sorry.
Oh. This senator doesn't know if people are apologizing when they say sorry or calling him by his name when they say sorry. Senator to the roots.
Senator Patel.
Incorrect. Senator Moore. There you go.
There's the bar.
Yeah, come get your Demir, please. Senator, Stephon, so sorry. And then for your Senator of the Week, so this person was nominated, and this is why they're receiving the award. So she is always eager to help and enthusiastic. She is hardworking and dedicated always. And I can definitely agree for working with her this past Saturday. So Emma Cheek, come get your certificate and your
What questions do you have for Vice President Morley? Senator Stephon?
Can students apply for both positions in the diversity committee and as a junior representative?
Okay. So the diversity committee open spots are for non-senators. So it's like student representatives. So if you're a senator on SGA, you wouldn't be like eligible to run for that position. So no. Yeah.
What other questions do you have? Vice President Burton.
So I've got several, I think I gave you 2 handouts today. But the first one that I'm going to talk about kind of looks like this. It's the account balances. So there were some questions last week. I apologize, I felt very ill last week. So we're here, we're better. And I wanted to show you this document. The general ledger, it's not a general ledger per se. Technically, it's just a cumulative total of our balances. And so that sits at $435,099.95. You can see that we've got our different accounts listed, Gen Ops, Readership Reserve, SAFA, Emergency SAFA, the SGA Advised Fund is our foundation account, and an SGA Projects account. And so those are rather self-explanatory. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask them in the question section or let me know. The second thing is fair goods on the ground. We, of course, have allocated $6,600 to date for two of these trips, actually. The trip to North Carolina and to spring break for Mississippi, the Mississippi River cleanup. So on December 15th through the 21st, 2018, they'll be going to North Carolina to clean up the debris after the hurricanes. In addition, from March 17th to 22nd, they'll be going to Memphis, Tennessee to clean up the Mississippi River. And then March 15th through the 22nd, they're going to Puerto Rico to clean up the hurricane there, unfortunately. So these are all available on the UCA website under Service Learning, and if you're interested in applying, please apply. They're very affordable relative to what any other type of trip would cost. It's a great way to do service in addition to enjoying your break somewhere other than Common, Arkansas. So, yeah. In addition, you've got this in the minutes a couple weeks ago, but it's the SAFA numbers. Of course, make a mental note to yourself. This is the most recent version. So $250 in addition was allocated to the Sculpture Club. So make those notes. There will be a motion in new business to approve these numbers stated in the Constitution. So 2 weeks after the appeals, the deliberations have been held. So be expecting that new business. And that's all I have.
What questions do you have for Vice President?
Oh, wait, I'm disappointed. I'm totally disappointed. Zagster. I had another place. So, we talked, last year we implemented the Zagster program on campus, expanding the whole program by almost double, actually a little bit more than double. So there's actually going to be 2 new stations opening up, one at what is formerly known as the Waylands Apartments, so they're now known as Glenrock, in addition to Centerstone. So they've got the same property manager, and they've signed on to expand the program to those properties. And I'm currently working to try to build support from the Hendricks community to see this program on Hendricks' campus in some way, shape, or form, whether it's on their main campus or the Hendricks Village area, which is a huge tax base and great community area. So I'm working on that. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but I'm really hoping it's going to happen because if they get on board, the chamber has said that they're going to sponsor a station for the Common Commons area, which is the big target area. So I would really like to see us get 2 more Zagster stations, and I'm working towards that. That's all I got.
What questions do you have for Vice President Burton? We will go into standing committee reports. Academic Affairs, Senator Aki.
All right, so this past week we met on Thursday at 8 a.m. And we discussed our dean meeting. Senator Kale met with the Natural Sciences dean, and they talked about adding more lounge space between Lewis and Common Court building. Senator Tribble met with his dean, and they discussed putting a lounge space maybe outside in the area because there's not a lot of space inside of Irby itself for lounges, and potentially adding more art installations. And then also we discussed food drive coming up with the community engagement. And we're going to continue having team meetings coming in.
What questions do you have for Senator Ivey? Internal Affairs, Senator Locking.
All right, so today we have Article 7, ratification and amendments, sections 1 through 3. This is just how we go about making amendments and things like that. So make sure you look over that. We are presenting a previous notice tonight under the qualification of candidacy for members. We'll go into that later. And we're moving forward from our feedback that we received from exec and advisors. So we're hoping to get the ball rolling with internal affairs this semester, and we're also making plans to work on things next semester. I know we only have a few meetings left this semester, so I'm not going to shove a bunch of papers down your throat.
What questions do you have for Senator Lockings? Housing and Food Service, Senator Kale.
Our original plan was to meet with Jim Neighbors, the director of Airmark, on Friday. He unfortunately forgot about the meeting, so after about 20 minutes, I just canceled, but he has apologized, and we are trying to meet with him on Thursday. And speaking of housing and food, meet me for 3 minutes after the meeting tonight, so we can discuss that.
What questions do you have for Senator Kale? Diversity, Senator Ramirez.
Yes. So for every report that I'm going to give a diversity quote just to let everyone be informed. So today's diversity quote comes from my favorite book, The Joy Luck Club, and it reads, "The old woman remembered a swan she had bought many years ago in Shanghai for a foolish sum. This bird boasted the market vendor once a duck that stretched its neck in hopes of becoming a goose. Now look, it's too beautiful to eat." On her journey, she cooed to the swan, "In America, I will have a daughter just like me. But over there, nobody will say her worth is measured by the loudness of her husband's belch. Over there, nobody will look down on her because I will make her speak only perfect American English. And over there, she will always be too full to swallow any sorrow. She will know my meaning because I will give her the swan, a creature that became more than what was hoped for." But when she arrived in the new country, the immigration officials pulled the swan away from her, leaving the woman fluttering her arms with only one swan feather for memory. For a long time now, the woman had wanted to give her daughter the single swan feather and tell her, "This feather may look worthless, but it comes from afar and it carries with all my good intentions." And she waited year after year for the day she could tell her daughter this imperfect American English. And now this is a perfect quote because diversity is not just race, but it also comes from the experience. So I just wanted to share that with y'all just so that y'all can reflect on your experiences and how diverse you are in your experiences. So last week I met with VP Marbley about the committee where it's at. And I like where it's at, so we're going to still continue it. Today I met with Charlotte Strickland, and she helped me with the direction where we want to go with Diversity Committee, and I want to meet with my committee about those objectives and the direction that we want to take. And then I also have a printout copy of the Civility Circle, which is on Wednesday. So I would like to have as much SGA senators as I can over there, just so we can try to have some leaders, have some people knowing to conversate about race and civility. And then, so interviews are being conducted on Thursday, so hopefully by next Senate, we'll be able to have a full diversity committee as a whole. And so if my diversity committee has a chance to meet me for 10 minutes after Senate, that'd be great. Thank you.
What questions do you have for Senator Ramirez? I just want to add on the Civility Circle, it is sponsored by SGA, so if you do have the availability and can attend, please do so because you as an organization, or we as an organization, are sponsoring this event. So it looks very good if we have members of our organization participating in the events that we're sponsoring as well. So. Student Fee Advisory Committee, Senator Teeter.
All right, thank you. So I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but if you will notice up on the calendar, over there to your right, all the SBAC hearings have been put down there on the correct days. We'll give you all that official schedule. Tuesday, October 30th, these are all during next period. Tuesday, October 30th, we are reviewing the access and security fee. Thursday, November 1st is the technology fee. Thursday, November 8th is the athletic fee. Tuesday, November 13th, in which one of our advisors might have a vested interest in, is the student center and recreation fee. And Thursday, November 15th is the online fee. So y'all can make it cool. So.
What questions do you have for Senator Teeter? Question. Location.
Senate chambers.
What other questions do you have for Senator Teeter? We will move into ad hoc committee reports. Bear Advocacy Group, Senator Kilgore.
Yes, so we have been very busy in preparation for the election, November 6th, which is coming very, very soon. So we are presenting a resolution tonight to Senate in support of students, faculty, and staff who want to vote on Election Day. I sent an email to exec and to Vice President Marbley this morning about how students can get absentee ballots, check early voting locations, check their registration, check their polling place, all of that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that. That should be coming out soon. Last Friday, I met with Mr. Jeremy Gillum, and we talked about voting efforts and Election Day efforts, and specifically about the voting bans that are going to be rolling out on Election Day. Also stay tuned for the Why Voting is Important campaign. We're going to roll that out next week, and also information about those bans. Just some quick announcements. So on Saturday, we have a really cool opportunity to participate in a focus group with Douglas Addison. He worked at the World Bank, so it's kind of a big deal. He's going to be talking about democratic education and democratic participation, and that's going to be Saturday at 11 a.m. with coffee and snacks. The location is to be determined, but it's probably going to be in the Student Center, definitely on campus somewhere. And another general announcement is early voting started today, so early vote. Yes.
What questions do you have for Senator Kilgore? Vice President Burton.
Where can we early vote for those that don't know?
Yes, so I have a chart that has early voting locations for all counties in Arkansas, so you can definitely just message me and get that. But for Faulkner County, I believe that it's the Faulkner County Library, the courthouse, and those are for Conway locations. And there's some other ones for Mayflower and Greenbrier, and I'm sorry I don't know those. But for Conway, courthouse, and the library. Yes.
What other questions do you have? Community engagement, Senator Sander.
So we have a new meeting time, just because the old ones are time more. We're meeting after Senate now, and this week we mostly worked on the red flag campaign, the red flags. And so we also have like social media material. If you guys want to post that, that'd be great. Just contact me. Spencer, we both have it. And that's going to be November 13th, 14th, 15th. We'll send out specifics, and we've reached out to a lot of RSOs to help us with campaigning and all of that stuff.
What questions do you have for Senator Sander? Student Resources, Senator DePersia.
Okay, so as the college representative said, the lounges are kind of at a standstill. Everyone's talking to their individual college. This is a project that started with Senator Peters. We were trying to do cans in exchange for parking tickets, but that's kind of at a standstill too, because PD is wanting to find out about the equivalency of a can to money, and they're also wanting money still, so yeah, that's at a weird spot. I got an update on the pricing for the hand-me-farms from Larry Lawrence. I will not read those off unless any of you really want me to. And then I talked to him about the outdoor charging stations, and he's checking to find out about funding that he might already have. So we will continue to be in contact.
What questions do you have for Senator DePersia? Sustainability, Senator Street.
Hello. So I didn't recycle anything I wasn't supposed to this week, so that's a plus. But yeah, But we, at our last meeting, met with Dr. Taka. He took the time to come meet with me and the rest of the sustainability committee and kind of just give us a lot of direction on who we need to be contacting because, as I said at the last meeting, there is someone that UCA pays to do sustainability, and it's good to kind of meet up with them and like not flog a dead horse, right? And like find out what projects they're working on, which I have a meeting with her and so does the rest of sustainability at 7:30 tonight. So if anyone like feels really passionately about like campus and kind of like recycling, you're definitely more than welcome to come sit in on that meeting and like ask her questions and find out what she's doing. We also, her name is Michelle Ellington, sorry, I don't know if I said that. And then also I just got email confirmation from Adam Hensley, who's the recycling and custodial services UCA physical plant person, I guess. And we're gonna be setting up a meeting with him over the next couple weeks as well, just to kind of figure out what we can do with that. But yeah, we just kind of got the ball rolling on meetings and figuring out some different projects and fun stuff like that. So, yeah.
What questions do you have for Senator Street? Are there any university committee reports? Senator Persia.
Okay, so last week, SEED met in their Sustainability University Committee. And so Larry Lawrence is the head of that committee. And one of the biggest projects that they're working on, like I guess this semester, is stormwater management. So ADEQ, which does something with, I think, water quality, said that Conway is the size of a city, so that UCA is the size of a city, so we have to have our own plan for stormwater management. So sustainability, like the physical plant, came up with a video that educates people on storm management, just all of the trash that can go into the drains, and they started planting thick grass by the drains to kind of like catch some of the waste. And then also they're making sure that their construction sites aren't going into any sort of waterways. And then they want to start an initiative for awareness on the storm drain management and just overall campus cleanliness. So we, Senator Street and I kind of mentioned a campaign that we could do educating the students on campus cleanliness. So that's probably going to be with sustainability. And then they also discussed having an Earth Day project, and that won't be until next semester.
What questions do you have? Other university committee reports? Senator Farnham.
Yes, thank you. So last Thursday during X period, I met with the graduate council. I believe on my last university committee report for this, I discussed we have moved into a new method of voting on action items to free up time during our meetings, because previously all of our meetings were taken up by voting on action items, and it's just not a way to be productive. So with this new method now, we had a lot of free time to discuss a list of things that we could potentially discuss in our meetings now, because we didn't have really an idea of what to talk about. So a short list of some of these things could be making the graduate school more competitive, or as far as relative to other Arkansas schools. Some of the things we discussed were reducing graduate tuition, as well as increasing GA stipends, and potentially looking into healthcare for graduate students who are working with GA. Some of the other things we discussed would be looking at the graduate faculty guidelines. If you know, graduate faculty must be appointed. They have to apply, essentially. We looked at possibly just granting all faculty graduate council, or not graduate council, but graduate faculty, like approving them automatically so they didn't have to go through that process. And then lastly, we appointed Chayla Rutledge, who is a PhD candidate in psychology, to the graduate council. So, you know, Chayla, congratulate her.
What questions do you have? Any other university committee reports? Senator Taduru?
So the last week we made in APSEC, and we distributed like 44,000
$200, and we have still more $5,800 to. We like just discussing how to do it because they're like, if we don't give them this semester, we cannot give them for the next semester. So we're like talking like that through email, and I don't have like the final data, so that is probably I will give you the next week with all the data that we have.
Great. What questions do you have? Other university committee reports? Vice President Morley.
Okay, so I'm serving on the search committee for the Assistant Vice President of Enrollment Management, and we met today and we reviewed the applicant pool and they're up down to the interview finalists that we'll do over Skype on Friday and Monday. So,
what questions do you have? Senator Therion.
Out of pure curiosity, how many people applied for this position?
Approximately 15.
Cool. Any other questions for Vice President Marbley? Other university committee reports? Okay, I have one. So I filled in for Senator Kale. She was meeting with Dean Addison during the undergraduate council committee meeting. So I attended that meeting, and I will make sure to include it in the minutes with specific course information. But they approved changes to about 6 different courses, specifically moving 4 philosophy courses from freshman sophomore level, so the 1,000, 2,000 level, to junior senior or 3,000, 4,000 designation now. So those changes will start being reflected within those particular courses within the philosophy department. So that was really all that was discussed with undergraduate council. Any questions? Any other university committee reports? Any unfinished business? Any new business? Senator Kilgore.
I move that the UCA SGA adopt a resolution to support UCA students, faculty, and staff voting on election day.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the UCA SGA adopt a resolution to support UCA students, faculty, and staff voting on election day. Discussion on the motion, Senator Kilgore.
Yes, so first I'll read the resolution and then I'll talk a little bit about it. Whereas voting is an essential part of maintaining a healthy democracy. Whereas, according to Campus Vote Project, people aged 18 to 29 years old make up 21% of the eligible voting population, but vote at lower rates than any other demographic group. Whereas UCA is a vote everywhere campus that strives to increase voter education and civic engagement. Whereas the UCA SGA has set a goal for a 33% student voter participation in the 2018 midterm elections. Whereas many UCA students have registered to vote in Faulkner County in order to vote on campus. Whereas UCA's future as a polling location requires substantial voter turnout at the site. Whereas many students, faculty, and staff will have obligations on the Tuesday of Election Day that will require them to vote during X period or between classes. And whereas voting on Election Day, especially at the polling location on campus, may require waiting in line for an unforeseen amount of time, therefore be it resolved that the Student Government Association at the University of Central Arkansas supports all students, faculty, and staff in their efforts to vote. And be it further resolved that the Student Government Association urges faculty and staff to permit students to vote on Election Day by granting them lenience for attendance-related issues as they see fit. So the reason we wanted to pass this resolution is just kind of as a way for us as an SGA to say that voting is important and we support students who want to vote. And that last resolved clause, this is kind of the first year that we've done something like this, so we wanted to just kind of give faculty and staff a gentle push to let them know that, hey, some students are going to be voting on campus and the lines can be long. We know that X period rush is going to be a lot and people might be voting on their lunch break and people might be late to class. So, you know, it's kind of giving the professors and the staff some lenience to say, I'm going to structure this the way that I want to, but maybe because they see this resolution, they'll know that this is important to students, and if they have that I voted sticker, maybe they won't count them off for being tardy, or we'll say like, hey, you know, if you go vote today, like extra credit or something like that. That's completely up to the professors though, so yeah.
Other discussion on the motion? Will Senator Kilgore yield to a question?
Yes.
Vice President Burton.
Yeah. So, in what manner or through what mechanism does Fair Advocacy Group plan on communicating this sentiment to the faculty and staff at UCA?
Yes, so we were hoping to, we're not actually sure when the next faculty senate meeting is, but we were hoping to present this to faculty senate or to get it to Dr. Graybeal to give to faculty senate.
Any other discussion on the motion? Vice President McGarity.
I'd like to make a friendly amendment to capitalize the first word after each whereas clause, with just proper form of resolutions. Also, that would go for after resolved, that would be capitalized as well. The two things.
Any objections? Any other discussion on the motion? Senator Therion.
I would like to propose a friendly amendment for the Andrew J. Goodman, Vote Everywhere ambassadors. That is actually all one title. And so we would like, as BAG, to remove that comma in between Andrew J. Goodman and Vote Everywhere ambassadors.
Any objections? Okay. Any other discussion on the motion? Okay. It has been moved and seconded that the UCA SGA adopt a resolution to support UCA students, faculty, and staff voting on election day. You may cast your vote. With 97% voting yes, 3% voting no, and 0 abstentions, the motion passes. Any other new business? Senator Lockings.
Okay, it's come to my attention before I present the previous notice that Carl hates me, and it didn't print the entire Article 3, but it will be in the minutes, and also what I'm adding is still on the page in Article 3, letter D. So, in accordance with the SGA Constitution and SGA Special Rules of Order, notice is hereby given that the following Constitution bylaw amendment will be considered at the next regularly scheduled SGA meeting on October 29, 2018. Article 3, letter D. Reason for amendment is to ensure stability in the offices of the SGA Executive President, Executive Vice President, Vice President of Operations, and Vice President of Finance.
Any other new business? Vice President Burton.
I move that, in accordance with the Finance Committee, the UCA SGA allocate $124,250.97 as heard and deliberated upon by the SAFA Committee for the spring of 2019. All funds applicable garnered from the SAFA.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that in accordance with the Finance Committee, the UCA SGA allocate $124,250.97 as heard and deliberated upon by the SAFA Committee for the spring of 2019. All funds applicable garnered from the SAFA account. Discussion on the motion, Vice President Burton.
This is constitutionally mandated after 3 Senate meetings after the hearings have taken place or the deliberations have taken place. You need to make a motion to approve the funds. So this is the motion.
Any other discussion on the motion? Vice President Burton.
I do want to say big shout out to our SAFA committee that spent 2 weeks of their time on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening, in addition to our advisors, 1 per evening, taking their time and going through the 51 requests that we had from organizations. These are big requests. These are 10-minute hearings. These people put time and effort into their work, and I do want to appreciate you for that, in addition to the advisors for your support. So it's a process, and people dedicate their time to it.
Any other discussion on the motion? It has been moved and seconded that the UCA SGA allocate $124,250.97 as heard and deliberated upon by the SAFA Committee for the spring of 2019. You may cast your votes. With 100% voting yes, 0% no, and 0 abstentions, the motion passes. Any other new business? Any announcements? Senator Kale.
Just a reminder, housing and food, meet with me.
Any other announcements? Vice President McGarity.
Rules and ethics are meeting after Senate and Chambers, so same.
Senator Ramirez.
Diversity Committee meet after Senate after the other two committees. If there are no.
Any other announcements? Senator Sander.
Statues on the Lawn is this Wednesday for Relay for Life.
Dr. Tarka.
Yes, freshmen, I've had a few meetings, very, very helpful and productive so far. Some of you freshmen I haven't heard back yet, so please check your emails. Respond back. That would be helpful.
Any other announcements? Senator Teeter.
All right, so the Veterans Day ceremony we're having here on campus, we have annually, is November 8th during X period. I assume it's going to be where it was last year, which was on the McAllister lawn. And David Williams contacted me, who's the director of the Department of Veteran Affairs here at UCA, and they need volunteers. This is not a hard job, and it means a lot to the people that come to the ceremony. It's a very big deal here on campus, and it really does mean a lot to people that come. So if you could sacrifice an X period, we would really appreciate it. Thank you. But if you want to sign up, Department of Veteran Affairs, or just let me know. I got you.
Any other announcements? Senator Young.
World Polio Day is this Wednesday, which is a big deal because there's still places in the world that are afflicted by polio. So at Laurel Park from 4:30 to 7:30, the Calm Rotary Club and the UCA Rotary Club is hosting an event where you can come out and have fun, learn about the issue, get free food, and maybe donate if you want to, but you don't have to. But yeah, just come out. It's a good way to kind of get engaged in the community. So.
Any other announcements? Vice President Marbley.
All right, so the Ebony Models organization is hosting a fall fashion week starting today. So we have events lined out all throughout the week, and you all should come out and see what's happening. So today we're having What Not to Wear at 6 o'clock in 223, and then tomorrow we're having a community clinical where you can come and learn how to, increase your confidence a little bit, walk around, have some fun. Wednesday, trap karaoke in the ballroom, and then Friday we have a fall fashion show at every brickyard at 7 p.m. So come out, That's it.
Vice President Burton.
I have an announcement. Tomorrow, actually, at 7 p.m. in Ida Waldron, the annual Greek Goddess pageant is going to be hosted, and that's a philanthropic event, and money goes towards the Arkansas Children's Hospital. But the coolest thing is, Senator Lockings and Senator Sander will be actually emceeing that event. So if you want to come watch them have a good time, then come out and have a good time.
Any other announcements? Senator Therion.
So ROTC is having our contracting ceremony this Thursday. It's a very serious issue to where a select few cadets from our pool have now agreed and signed, sealed, delivered themselves to the United States military, to where as soon as they graduate, that minute, they become a second lieutenant in the United States Army. So if you'd like to come join us, it is this Thursday at 2 p.m. My bad. At 2 p.m. inside of Joint.
Any other announcements? Okay, I have one. So as Vice President Marbley mentioned during Senate tonight, he serves as the SGA representative on the search committee for the Associate Vice President of Enrollment Management. We had a a representative from the Faculty Senate last week that talked about what Faculty Senate is trying to do as far as garnering what types of questions, gauging what types of questions to ask those candidates in relation to enrollment management and the experiences that students have had with the different departments and divisions that will fall under this new position. So if you have really strong feelings, opinions, concerns about advising financial aid, student accounts, those types of departments, please let Vice President Marbley know so that he can take those to the committee so that when they're asking questions of these applicants, that we get someone in this position that we as students feel comfortable with and feel they will do, make necessary changes to improve enrollment management services on our campus. Any other announcements? This meeting is adjourned.
Oh, look at the timing though. Wow, I'm not going
Okay, we will.
Remember that we got 2:26. Afternoon tomorrow.
All right.